Before we begin, thank you very much to Diego Publawebs. I feel like I need to keep making sure I got that one right. Diego Publawebs. Alright, fair enough. For joining the Patreon campaign over at patreon.com/TJOmega. I don't know what I did right yesterday, but I had a whole bunch of new signups. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining up. I appreciate it very, very much. So get ready for shout outs before every video again. Uh, just to make sure I can catch up and everyone gets their shout out and everyone walks away happy here. But thank you guys so much. Genuinely love you for it. Now, roundup time. A bunch of news coming out, a bunch of stuff that I want to get my opinion out there about it. And of course, we're going to start with the aftermath of the Fans First Friday event, which was just a whole bunch of official stock photos now available for your online perusal. So you can get some nice close-ups without anyone talking over it. Yeah. I kind of said it in that video, but like Fan First does have some problems here. I feel like the conversations are forced. I don't feel like there's any real excitement going on for it. It's like it's just a very boring list. And even if it's not, even if, and that's whether they have new things to show off or not. I do think it takes the energy down even lower when they go into it knowing that everything that they're going to reveal has already been leaked in one way or another. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's Hasbro PR telling them what they can do and what to reveal next. They just need to be punchier about it. I feel like they need actual fan interaction. I feel like they need a few prominent people in the community to get these in hand first and be the ones to like go, oh my god, and then just and then just have designers just giving their tidbits about the engineering and field questions about the toys. I feel like fans involved in Fan First Friday would actually bring a lot more excitement than a bunch of Hasbro PR people and designers that have been toiling over these things every day for months. So how excited could you really be for it at that point? My 2 cents. My 2 cents. The point is, all the photos there that they showed off, they're all available now, so you can have a nice clear view of everybody. And yeah, it's despite the fact we've seen almost all of it, it is looking very good. It is looking very good. What we didn't see was anything about Beast Wars reissues outside of Tigatron and Scorponok. Of course, we know that we're waiting on Wave 3. I was actually worried because it seemed like the reissues didn't do very well, which will probably happen when you do all the same characters that already have new modern figures on the shelf at the same time. But then Wave 3 was the interesting one because it's a lot of non-show characters and a few that didn't have current figures like Tarantulas. And this one, this is the first example of it we got to see what Cybershark's going to look like in packaging. They've gone to the round bubble, so they've done away with the rock bubble already. It's an interesting change because he's actually mimicking the first, like the earliest wave Beast Wars packaging. It's like if you take a look at Rhinox was wave 1.5, and you can see like he's got just the black up here in the corner. The red goes all the way to the top of the card. It's interesting because Cybershark's original card had a lot more black at the top. The eye behind it was a lot bigger. The scales were a little bit more faded. They weren't like so pronounced and clear on the packaging. And I think this looks way better. I think it looks more dynamic. When you get to this, and it's that small eye that doesn't take up the entire bubble, that's already frustrating. That already doesn't look good. But it also, like, you're artificially extending all those scales upward, so it doesn't look like a beast's head, like, eyeballing the toy from behind anymore. It looks like a flesh wall. It looks like something out of Dungeons and Dragons. I can't even, like, even if, like, a dinosaur's head is not, like, that tall above its eye. It looks weird. It looks weird when you start to actually, like, step back and think about it. I kind of wish they'd replicated the original packaging a little bit better, but also that would kind of like take down what's special about this. I have a vintage Cybershark. Maybe, and ultimately, it's probably for the best. It doesn't look exactly like it. It just looks weird. It just looks weird the more you look at it. But I'm happy to see that these are apparently going to come out because I actually do want to mess with a Cybershark, but I don't want to open my vintage one to do it. So, moving on, more reissue news. there is a production number for Wolfang, or they've incorrectly spelled it Wolfgang, which I believe was a pretty prominent misspelling back in the day when it first came out too. This one was like not unexpected because K9 is part of Wave 3. I think it's more interesting because K9 was in Wave 3 instead of Wolfang. Like that was the weird one. Like why wouldn't you do like the more like prominent slash popular version of the mold? It almost got me thinking like, does the original mold even still exist, or did they like? Because once upon a time they just tool out the original parts, and the original mold didn't exist anymore. This I'm actually happy to see that we're actually getting proper Wolfang. Another one I have vintage that I kind of want to open, so that'll save me from that. Yeah, so I think like a lot of people, I'm way more interested in Wave 3, and I'm hoping it doesn't get canceled or tanked or go to like Amazon exclusives or whatever. Uh, Thanks, because it doesn't seem like it's selling too hot at the stores. But as long as we've seen it in packaging, it seems like we're going to get more. And if we got more production numbers, they're planning for more. So fingers crossed. I want some interesting things. I want Black Arachnia in her original color scheme. I want how many more do I want? I want to throw a Fusor in. Give me like a Silver Bolt. So give me something weird and different. All right, moving on. How about some more Beast Wars? We got in-package shots of Nightprowler, Sandstorm, and Buzzsaw, and this actually surprised me because I remember when we first saw these, I speculated on the fact that it felt like they were setting up another 4-pack of remolds and repaints, and I knew there were rumors of another multi-pack like that coming out. Not that the last one went well. I never saw that Worlds Collide in my area. Uh, but this one actually surprised me because everyone is individually packaged in legacy packaging, no less. It looks as though they would be like a Wave 2. That's how it's kind of presented. But we actually know that, thanks to leaks, we actually know that they're not Wave 2. I'm actually not sure how these are getting released. I know Walmart has its own exclusive line coming, but supposedly it's not Beast based per se. So again, I'm not entirely sure exactly what's going on here or where these are going to end up, if they're just online exclusives that ended up in the same packaging style. No clue. No clue. Still, kind of cool that they are individually released. I always worry about multi-packs, like, because I'll be honest, I want the Worlds Collide set, but I really just want Fangry out of it. I don't, after that, like, I want Black Arachnia's legs. So my Kingdom Black Arachnia can actually be show accurate. Like, that's all that I really want out of that whole set. But yeah, nice to see that these are individual. So like Nightprowler, I'm not as interested in, but Buzzsaw and Sandstorm, I'd be down for. So that's kind of nice to see. So let's move on to some weirder news. So an app called Calm App has added a Transformer history lesson voiced by Optimus Prime. Now, the app is designed for very calm, chill, like background sleep kind of like quiet kind of stuff. And it's really just Peter Cullen putting on a very soft Optimus Prime and giving a detailed story. The preview snippet is very positive, very uplifting. It is, it's not like, the war has raged. You are only hope. No, it's nothing like super dread or ominous like it was in the movies. It's very, it's very much, you're a kind person. Thank you for giving us thank you for, giving us a place, a home for the night, etc., etc. It's super chill. It's super chill, and really, it sounds more like the original Optimus Prime than say like the movie Prime, who was kill first and ask questions never. It was a nice throwback, and it's fun. It's a paid app, I'll say that. So it's nothing that I haven't heard the entire thing, and I'm not really interested in hearing the entire thing. It is at least interesting that it does exist, just in case you want Peter Cullen himself narrating the Transformer history to you in like the most calm way he possibly can. All right, so this is the news. This is the news you knew I had to talk about. We got another update on HasLab Victory Saber, and this one is for the packaging art, which looks absolutely awesome. There's a whole bunch of different takes here, a whole bunch of different looks, some black and white shots. This has the Micromasters on it as well. Holly and Fire. We have typical stuff for Transformers Victory that you would expect. The grids you would expect. Of course, if it's Victory, you'd expect Victory Saber on there. But yeah, very cool looking wire art. And then full art. Ooh, they look so good. It looks so good. A few different takes. There's the lines glowing red. I like this splash shot of everything going on. So the man holding the pencil here is none other than Guido Guidi, my favorite Transformer artist. So the fact that he is also doing the packaging for Victory Saber, if you had announced that, I would have backed the project even faster than I already had. Like it's like that cool to me that he is involved in bringing Victory Saber to life in the West. Super cool. Absolutely love it. Looks awesome. Trying to figure out how to make it work for my phone background, but it's too bright and complicated. I can't see my apps anymore. But we'll see. I'm eager to see. Like, this is not like a full example of what the packaging is going to look like. These are like, these are like samplings. These are like examples. So we'll see exactly how it's going to come. But definitely looks like they're putting more work into it than just like a brown box with some black print on it. All right, next up, Flame Toys announced the next Furai model kit, and it's Hound, a kit that they showed off 5 years ago and finally said, all right, you're up. We have seen whole new designs start from like the original art concept to the prototype to full release before we saw Hound, who was part of the initial pitch for this line. He's looking interesting. I'm not a terribly big fan of the design on him. The heavy weapons doesn't feel like Hound. Hound's a lot more like laid back. He was supposed to be the first like friend of the human Autobots before Bumblebee was became like the chosen kid character. So he's I don't know, like the massive rocket launcher I'm not a big fan of. The Gatling gun doesn't seem to suit him. Now, once we get him into military deco, of course all that's going to look a little bit more appropriate. I don't know. It's just a weird choice. It's a weird choice because there's so many like prominent Transformer characters that we haven't seen done in this style yet. There's more IDW designs that they could be doing. Hound is just an interesting choice. I'm interested to see what the reaction to him is going to be because it's not an Optimus Megatron, it's not like Optimus Megatron Windblade, Rodimus Bumblebee. It's not a huge prominent character that's been like the centerpiece of Transformers media, here or there. Yeah, I mean, it's Hound, who's always been something of a side character. So how like this, I'm curious about, because if this goes over well, it means sky's the limit for the Furai kits. Because I actually do really like the Furai model. I do really like a lot of the designs, a lot of the more eclectic choices they make. So I would actually be down for this succeeding, just because it means we'll probably get more, in that like that mid-tier character range. All right, really quick, they showed off the Studio Series Nest Bumblebee, which is just the Jeep Bumblebee painted gray, and it comes with Spike Witwicky because, Bumblebee. This one is weird. This one is weird to me because it's marketed as Transformers Bumblebee movie, but it's Nest Bumblebee, which would have been Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, and Sam Witwicky is included. Naturally, this is not how he ever appeared in the movie in any movie. It's just Bumblebee mimicking one of the Nest Jeeps, which I guess that's all you can. I guess they had to do something else with the mold, and that kind of harkens back to like the first run of toys where they would do, like the first 2 movies where they would do new toys just based on vehicles in the background. Brawn in the first movie line was like that. So I could see why they're doing it, but also There's a lot of characters in the movies that don't have Studio Series figures yet, so it feels a little bit weird that we're throwing in something that is just an arbitrary repaint that never appeared. But that's Hasbro. If they've got a mold, they're going to try and repaint it. And I get it. I get it. You know, figures are expensive to make. It's still just it's a weird choice. It's a weird set. And speaking of dull repaints, boom! Let's take a look at the new Ironhide redeco. To be fair, like, I shouldn't be picking on a red and black color scheme now, should I? But this one is at least interesting. So this is Generation Select's DK2 Guard. Rolls right off the tongue. The name is based on his Diaclone numbering, but I really wish they'd come up with other names besides this. I don't like those. Like, we got that with the Jurassic Park set too. Like JP93. Like, I hate those I hate that numbering. But this one is at least, it's at least a striking design. Black repaints do tend to be, it's basically, if we get to the comparison shot, it's essentially the same figure, just swapped out black for red, or the gray for red, and then the red for black. Not a whole lot of like interesting deco here going on. The painted face does make it stand out a bit from Ironhide, so that part's cool. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with this. I know it's a Diaclone homage, but also you're not like, because it's Ironhide, and the Diaclone toy was so different than the animation model. I don't think you're behooving to do like directly, like direct repaints like that. I feel like you could have like thrown like, I think like the painted mohawk would have been cool. But that's just me throwing wishes out there. It doesn't look bad. It's another weird little Diaclone repaint. And it's another case of this mold being some form of exclusive in one way or another. You had to go out of your way to get the Earth Mode Ironhide, no matter what tooling it was, no matter what character it was pretending to be, which is a little bit weird, but it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. Big shield kibble thing aside, I actually don't mind this version of the toy. And yeah, it's another one for the Diaclone collectors, which I know there's a few, because they've been doing a lot of Diaclone-based Generation Selects lately, filling in all the gaps they can. And we're going to end it off on one more toy look, because someone got the Exosuit Spike in hand. First time we've really gotten in-hand shots of this and really gotten to see what it can do. And it's surprisingly nice. So it does have like full transformation. The head sculpt is in it. You can see Spike in there. Just like all the others, blank eyes. There's no eyeballs. Like, seriously, just can you please dot the eyes just a little bit so it doesn't look so creepy in there? No, I didn't see that picture up close. You can't do that. He looks like a Doctor Who villain. He looks... But yeah, he looks good. I think he looks better than the Masterpiece one does. The alt mode is a little bit cobbled, but you really can't avoid that at that size with that design especially. It's not like we got a good look at his vehicle mode in the first place. But yeah, I like the tab, letting the head turn left and right. That works really well. I like that the arms can rotate around for the cannon mode. That's cool. Decent range of articulation too. Like, I'm digging this. So it's a weird one to include, but also makes sense at the same time. And I think it really works well for having a core class figure that's in scale with the other stuff from Studio Series. So this one is actually going to be interesting. I'm actually really liked what I've gotten out of core class lately. So I'm happy to see another one coming down the pipe. And I believe that is going to do it for our news roundup for the week. A lot of weird reveals and a lot of misfired reveals, but hey, that's how the toy industry goes. Lots of new stuff on the way to look forward to. Really looking forward to this. Lots of new stuff to buy for 2022. So hopefully I'll be back. Hopefully reviewing will be a little bit more common on the channel to cover a lot of this, because it's going to be a lot to talk about. So thank you guys for watching once again. As always, like and comment on your way out. It is very appreciated. And for everyone who is on the Patreon, thank you very much for sticking around. The Beast Wars reviews will be kicking off really soon. Like, I kind of aiming for like January 8th. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys once again, and hopefully I will see you next time.
Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.